This video will be a tutorial on the pre-sale bidding features for Bidballer, the new auction platform. There are lots of different things you can do, or you can just enter bids and go straight on. But we can run through a lot of the different features now. So once you're logged in, you'll see here that it's open for pre-sale bidding. So let's go to this sale here, which I set up for test purposes. And over here on the right hand side, it will say register to bid if you're already a pre-approved bidder. If you're not, it will have a link to a form where you can fill out reference information for us to check before your online bidding can be approved. Then you click on the registration, and you have the terms and conditions of sale, which you agree to, and then you can assign paddle numbers. So with the paddle numbers, you can have as many as you want. They're all randomly generated. In this case, I'll take 2, for example, and you can add an avatar to them. We have a separate video on account settings where you can figure out how to add avatars to your account. That's part of that video. So for this one here, I'll add Velociraptor and Whale. So those are my 2. I've decided I only want 2 paddles. Wait, I don't want that one. Let's get rid of it. Oh, maybe I do want another one. Again, if you haven't used the paddle number, you can delete it, and you can always add more paddle numbers later if you want to. You can switch paddle numbers for your bidding, and lots of different things that you can do for that. So once I'm done and I'm happy with my paddle numbers, I can then submit registration, and that takes me back to the sale page. And over here on the right, I can view the lots, or again, down here in the table of contents, I can view whichever section I want. That would bring up the menu of the lots in the sale. And let's go through some of the features that we have here. We have the photos, the descriptions. You click on the photos here. There's a download button if you want to download the images. Very straightforward. Those are the highest resolution images that we have. They're the ones we use for printing our catalogs. So we share the best resolution that we can with you. Over here under action, on the right hand side, you can see this is where you bid. And you can see right now my paddle is selected as Velociraptor. Let's change it to Whale. So now I've changed that to a different paddle number. And let's place a bid on this lot. So the estimate's 15 to 20,000. We'll bid 12,000 and see what happens. So it says I'm winning the lot. Great. Now keep in mind that most of the action happens closer to the sale. Just because it says you're winning the lot with an inexpensive bid doesn't mean you're going to get it. You can also change your paddle number once you have placed a bid. So let's go and give that one to Whale instead. So easy enough to do that. If you want to be notified by text message or email 10 lots in advance before it's being sold, you would just check the box. Even if you have bids or don't have bids, you can then do the live bidding and be notified in advance. If you want to be on the phone for the lot, you would click over here for phone bidding. That is subject to approval from Siegel, and so that is how to place a basic bid. Now on lot 2, let's see, 8,000. Let's put in a bid of $6,000. Okay. Oh, wait a minute, I put in a bid of 60,000 by mistake. That's too bad. So I'm going to hit a retract, and I want to retract all my bids because I just made a mistake on that. I put in the retraction request, and the auction house will get a notification of that. It's an obvious mistake, and it'll get fixed. And then later on, you'll go and see that the retraction in this case would be your bid would be removed from that. So that's nice and easy. So now let's look at other options for OR bids and group bids. For the OR bids, so you click on that button for OR or group bidding options, and that would just that brings up a dialog box with some additional options. So let's say I want to make an OR bid of proofs. So I want to add that to my OR bid group. Let's put in a bid of 40,000 on this. Great. So now you can see that it's part of an or bid group over here. And this is the paddle number that I'm using it with. So let's go back up here to the first one. I decide, wait, I want to add that to my OR grid. So I just click on that and add proofs, and then add it to my OR bid group. So now I have lot 1 and lot 3 as part of an OR bid, and lot 2, I'm waiting for my retraction request to come through from the auction company, from Siegel. So over here, I can filter my bids, and I can see which ones are my OR bids. So now it just shows me just the lots that are my OR bids. I can see other bids, group bids, and everything else. And again, I can change my paddle up here and manage my paddles. If I want to add a third paddle, for example, I can go up here, add a third paddle. I don't want an avatar for that one, so I'm just going to go like that. Takes me right back to where I was. And then in the paddle list, you can see I now have 3 different paddles. Perfect. So, so those are the basic features for that. There is group limit bidding, and let's talk about that. If you want to hide all this population report charts, you just do that, and it hides it for all of them. You can just expand it if you want. So let's set a group limit bid. I want to bid on some 1847 singles, and I want to limit all of my purchases to $2,000. So the SMQ on this is 1,400. Let's bid 1,000. We'll see what happens. So I'm going to set a group limit from group name of 1847. Do that, and then it'll bring up a dialog box. So I can set my group limit for $5,000. So I apply that, and now you can see that that lot is part of the group, and that the budget for that is $5,000. So in this case, if the budget gets to $5,000, it'll cut off the bidding automatically. If you're live bidding, there's an option to have set a budget there, but since you're in control at the auction live, you can exceed your budget there. But here, if it's a group bid, it will stay and not be executed above that, but you can always jump in at any time. There are no restrictions on online bidding, so if you've hit your limit and you decide you want to keep bidding online while you're watching, there are no restrictions on any of that. So again, I can add this one to the group, and I can add it again to my group, 1847 group, and there you go. So now I have a couple of bids into my group limit bid. If you decide you want to get rid of the group limit or an OR bid, you can do that just by Xing it out. And so I'm taking this out of the group. It asks me, do I want to remove it from the group? And the original bid is still valid. But it's just being removed from the group because I don't want it to be subject to those limits anymore, so you can do that. So as you can see, there's a lot of different flexibility, a lot of different options for bidding before the sale, and I hope you enjoy the video, and if you have any questions, just let us know. Thanks.